day. So with us today is Daniel Otumba, who will be taking us through data security, PII, specifically PII data protection. He is currently a senior cybersecurity engineer at Safaricom and very equipped to take us through this session. He has a good experience in cybersecurity architecture, and beyond that, he's also an author with multiple publications on Amazon. So, karibu sana Daniel to the Cyber Shujaa Mentorship session, and yeah, can take us through from there.
Thanks, Hope. That's quite an intro. Good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. Thank you. So, just like Hope has introduced me, but the only part that she didn't mention is that I'm a biker. I'm a private biker, so that's what I do during my free time. So, I think we'll just go straight to it. So today we'll be focusing majorly on data security with a deep focus on PII and how we protect our PII. So maybe before we begin the presentation, I have a quick Menti that we would like us to take. Confirm you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. So you can just go to menti.com and use this particular code to log in, or you can just scan the QR code on appearing on your screen to log into the platform. We have a few, it's going to take maybe 5 minutes. There will be a small prize for the winner. So begin. See, we are 7 people. Let's give maybe 1 minute and then we start. I see 9 people have joined the Menti. I don't know how many people are in the call. Okay, number is still increasing. Yeah, I think we can proceed. So, first question. So, you want to sell your old phone. What's the safest step before handing it over to the buyer? Factory reset. So let's say all of us got that. So it's very important that we do factory reset to just wipe all data within the phone before you hand it over to the buyer. Seeing one is Ola Hope. I'm hoping this is not Hope the organizer. A question 2. You are filling out a form and notice you are asking for notice they are asking for personal information unrelated to the service. What should you do? So give fake information, ask what information, ask why that information is needed, fill everything, skip the form. So say some people will skip the form, okay, but the best approach will be you ask why they need that particular information, because it may be that the information is needed, it's just that they didn't highlight it on the disclaimer or on the form. I see Hope is still leading. Second, Dennis and Peelings. Okay. Third question. A mobile app wants access to your contacts to work. What should you think? So actually, I think most of us have observed this or seen this. Most of the mobile apps that we always use, they will always want to access your contacts. And I see some people have said it's normal for apps. So it's not really normal for mobile apps to ask for your contact, especially if what you are doing is not really related to accessing your contacts. So majorly you will notice this with these digital platform lending apps. And that's why after you took a loan from these rogue digital lending apps, and then few months later you've defaulted on the loan, then now they start calling your relatives and friends, and you'll be asking yourself how they got the contacts. So it's you actually gave them access to the contacts by giving that particular app access to your contacts on the phone. See, Hope is still leading. Okay. Fourth question. You receive email from HR with the file named salary increase.pdf.exe. What should you do? Open it privately, delete and report, share with your colleagues. Your colleague to see. Delete and report. So I think for this question, I don't know whether somebody can unmute and tell us why you should delete and report it, not to maybe open it privately. What's the catch in this particular type of question? Anyone can unmute?
May I try?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think it's because as an employee, I'm not authorized to see that information. Especially if I'm not in HR, I don't think I'm authorized to see that information.
Okay. That's a very good trial. But it's a salary increase. Maybe it's your salary. They have increased your salary. So how will you not be authorized to see your salary increase? Another trial?
Can I try?
Yeah, sure.
Because it's named pdf.exe and exe is an executable file.
Exactly. So the catch is on the file naming itself, or rather the file format. So being that it's an exe file, it means this probably a malware or rather a virus or rather malware. So immediately you open it, it means you will be authorizing some remote control, or rather you'll be installing some kind of malware in your gadget, if it's a laptop or even your phone. And that's how the malicious actor can gain access to your. I see there's somebody with a hand up, Dennis.
Yes, I have a question. I was just thinking, maybe open it privately can also make sense for somebody who is a malware analyst. If you to analyze the file, see if it is malicious.
Yeah, now you've mentioned a very critical point, the malware analyst. So in this case, we were just you are a normal employee, you are not a malware analyst. So yeah, of course, for malware analysts, they won't open it privately, but they will open it maybe in a sandbox area where they can do the analysis of the malware, and that actually will now come after you've uh, reported it. So you can delete and report, or you can even report without deleting. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Okay. Still. So next question. So there's what? Why do you think people ignore security updates even when they know they are important? So this is an open-ended question. I want to hear your views. I know many of us always ignore security updates. You receive an Windows update on your machine, you ignore. You received, you don't update your phone apps, especially when you're not connected to Wi-Fi. You ignore those updates. Procrastination, okay. It's mostly seen as an inconvenience and slow down process. Takes time to install, may change some preference. I think they don't seem important at the moment. Lack of awareness, inconvenience. It's time consuming, an assumption of they are not vulnerable. Ignoring security updates primarily driven by human psychology, inconvenience. So I see most people are talking about inconvenience. Okay. Updates often require restarting a device or interrupting ongoing work. Lack of understanding, ignorance. Most of the time consuming negligence, assuming don't think they are insecure. Yeah, so many of us always ignore those particular security updates. Majorly, some people will say it's inconveniencing, some say it's annoying, and some say it's not important. So many of us always think it's not really important to do those particular updates, but it's always very important to do updates even for the apps that we install on our phones, because immediately you see an app has been updated, even in the Play Store, it means there was a vulnerability that has been patched. Now that patch has been pushed for you to do the update yourself. And the next question, what is the most common security mistake you see people make with their personal data, and why do you think it happens? Using the same password. Very nice. Yeah. Using password across multiple accounts. Actually, this one is a very huge security risk that we make. Giving out without questioning why it's needed. Using with password reuse across multiple sites. It's happened because it's convenient and people's brain can't manage. Okay. Using passwords. Let's log in. Logging in anywhere, ask for login data. They want to pass time and get what they want is sharing too much PII online. Okay. Saying your phone, saying their phone number loud while paying via M-Pesa. Okay. Using one password for various accounts, sharing your information on social media. Very nice. Okay. So I think see most people are touching on the password, weak password, and also using the same password across multiple accounts, which is actually a risk that I believe many of us, even those in security sector, school, still actually are a victim of. Because it's very easy to remember, and that's why it's recommended that we always try to use a password manager to help us in one, generating strong passwords, and also just storing the password safely, using same password for a long time. Okay. And then the last question, this is a fun one. How should you deal with Mondays? Ignore emails, plan for Friday, fantasize about the weekend, or cry. How do you always deal with your Mondays, or how ideally should people deal with Mondays? Plan for Friday. Amazing. Okay. Someone saying they should cry. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe Friday is, Monday is always uh, the worst day of the week. Fantasize about the weekend. Okay. So let's see the leaderboard now. So number one is Shami. I don't know who Shami is. So Shami, what you'll do, you'll take a screenshot of your page with the name and share with Hope. Then, sorry, you've reached. Then number two, we have Atman. Atman, you'll also do the same. Number three, we have Barefoot. So take a screenshot of your Menti page and share with Hope. Hope will share with me. I'll share some airtime with you guys. So you'll share the screenshot and your phone number for me to share with you some airtime. So thanks for that. I think now we can go straight to the presentation. So data security. When you talk of data security, I know it's always something that is not easy to actually explain what people mean by data security, and each and every person will have different definitions about data security, which are actually correct. But now just to give a simple definition of what data security is. So data security is just a practice that involves the protection of digital information from unauthorized access, corruption, destruction, modification, thefts, or disclosure. So that's ideally what securing data is. So why is it important for us to do security? So I think for the presentation, maybe we can have a Q&A session of the presentation. But if you have a burning question, you can just raise your hand and ask. Otherwise, we can have a Q&A after the presentation. I think that's okay. Hope, is that okay?
Yeah, that's all right. For those who may want to write it down, the chat isn't open to everyone, but the Q&A section is, so you can also write your questions there. Yeah.
Thanks. So why is data security important? So the main purpose is just to help us protect organization data, which contains trade information and customer data. So the main reason why we have to implement security of our data, especially for individually and even organizations who deal with customer data, just to ensure that data is protected at all time. And then compliance with industry and government regulations. So we have different regulations that we use, or rather, the organizations use. For example, in Kenya, we have the Data Protection Act, we have the PCI DSS, we have GDPR that ensure that all people, or rather all companies that handle customer data comply with some of the regulations. Then data security also help protect organization from reputational damage and maintaining customer trust. So I think this is it's normal. Wherever you give your data to an organization and you hear of a security breach, you'll start thinking of how to live. If it was a bank, you will immediately think of leaving that particular bank, stop banking with them and going to a different bank. Then preventing financial losses, I think that is self-explanatory. Maintaining customer trust, that one I had mentioned, safeguarding against cyber attacks. So we always have different attacks and attack techniques that the threat actors use to try to leverage and gain access within our personal data. Ryan?
Daniel? Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah, I was going to ask if Daniel is sharing his screen or presenting something, because at the moment it's still showing the Menti results.
You can see
Yeah.
my screen? Sorry.
Yeah.
Stop sharing. Sorry.
It's all right.
Let me know when you can now see the screen.
Now we can see it.
Apologies for that. So the last bit is mitigating human error and insider threat. So actually, the major cause of cyber attacks or cyber incidents are human error. So human error are things that we do that expose our systems to vulnerabilities. So you will notice that most organizations or most companies, they focus so much on system protection. You'll notice that they have implemented very good controls on the network. They have deployed firewalls, and they have the CM solutions. They have everything. But now, when it comes to users who are actually the weakest link within our organization, then we do very poorly at that when it comes to training and awareness of users and how to handle and how to just kind of even identify phishing and this other kind of social engineering attacks. And then we also have insider threats. How do we always handle data from rogue employee? Access of data from rogue employees who will always want to try to sell your data or use it for personal gain. So those are some of the things that data security can help in mitigating. So we have types of data security. So the first one is encryption. So encryption is just the process of converting readable data into unreadable format so that only authorized people with the correct decryption key can access that particular data. So one of the controls that we always implement for the data security is the encryption. So by default for data in transit, I think that's where we majorly, or rather most people focus on ensuring that they have the digital certificates, the SSL certificates, so that when you are transmitting any data over the internet, it's secured. So that's one form of encryption. But there are also other forms of doing encryption, especially data at rest, the data which are stored on the databases, the files which are stored on our system. So I think we'll handle that deeper within the presentation. Then we have data erasure or data eraser that just ensure that data that this just ensure secure and permanent deletion of data from a device or storage. So especially for those handling customer data, we have the right to be forgotten. So a customer may send application for the right to be forgotten. So once that has been initiated, so the right to be forgotten simply just means that a customer wants you to delete everything, every record that you have about them from your systems. So that is actually something that you are allowed to do. Say maybe you are banking with a financial institution, or you gave your data to any organizations, and then you want to want them to kind of delete or stop having your data anymore. You are allowed to make an application for them to forget your data. So data erasure can assist with that. Or when you are decommissioning some systems, there's actually a procedure for doing decommissioning of old systems, or rather, if it is a data beta, when you want to decommission a data, there's a procedure that you are supposed to follow to ensure that the data is securely and permanently deleted from that particular device so that it can't be accessed anywhere. Then we have data resilience. So this just ensure that the data that you have within your environment has the ability to continue operating even when you have kind of a breach. You have a BCP plan for you to do a failover or continue with your business even after a breach. So that's what data resilience entails. Then masking So this is more like also falls under the protection bit. It can work hand in hand with the encryption, but now masking is irreversible. So assuming you are assuming you want to share that customer data with a third party, and there are some fields with the PII that you don't want the third party to see, you can do masking so that you kind of alter that particular field to have something fictitious. So that process is reversible. For encryption, you can reverse the process with a decryption key, but for masking, the process is irreversible. So majorly, most organizations use this process. One, like I mentioned, when they want to share data with a third party. Two, you can use it in your UAT environment or test environment where you are doing some simulations with the customer data. So you can do masking so that you don't use the original customer data in those environments. So what is the difference between data security and data privacy? So actually, most of us always confuse the two. When somebody talks about data security and when somebody talks about data privacy, what are they really talking about? This is the same thing or they're different? So data security is about guarding against outside threats, while data privacy is about managing data within ethical and legal boundaries. So the data security focuses majorly on protecting data from unauthorized access and threats, while privacy helps in managing and responsibly using data concerning user rights. So for example, the Data Protection Act that we have in Kenya majorly focus on the privacy and not the security bit. Then the objective of data security is to prevent breaches, to prevent data breaches, theft, and loss, while the objective of data privacy ensure user consent and data compliance with privacy regulations. Then methods of data security, we have encryption, implementing firewalls or those other security controls. For privacy, this with data handling policy, user consent management, and compliance. So key regulators for data security, we have things like the data security framework. We have things like the ISO frameworks and all that that help in securing data. Then for data privacy, I mentioned the DPA, PCI DSS, HIPAA, which these are acts in US for health. Then we have roles in business. We have things like for data security, it safeguards against external and internal threats. I think we mentioned that. And privacy just helps in building trust and respecting and protecting user data rights. So a very good example I will give. Recently, we've seen so many people online complaining about Safaricom sharing data with the government and all that. So that falls under data privacy and not data security. So now let's now dig deeper into PII. So what is PII? So PII is personally identifiable information. So there are those information that people can use to identify you. So assuming me as Daniel, what are some of the information that a person can use to identify me? Because if you take something like my first name, Daniel, you can't use Daniel to identify me as a person because we have so many people named Daniel. So what are those particular information that people can use to pinpoint when they use them, they can really pinpoint that it is you. So things like your national ID numbers or the identification card numbers. So those are unique numbers that can be used to pinpoint to you as a person. We have things like driver's license, financial account numbers. So these are things to do with credit cards, numbers, debit card numbers, your bank account numbers, and all that. Medical information. So any information regarding an individual, medical history, mental or physical condition can also be used to identify a person. Then we have education records, license plate information from automated readers, biometric data. So what are some of the information that a person can use to identify you individually as a person, apart from what you've listed here? Any trials? None? Okay.
We have a hand from Anthony.
Sorry, when I'm presenting, I don't know why I can't see. So, yes,
It's
Anthony.
all right.
Email numbers.
Sorry? Anthony,
Email numbers. Can email
the
numbers
IMEI,
identify you?
yeah, the IMEI numbers. So the IMEI numbers, well, that's partly correct. Yeah, you can use the IMEI number to identify the gadget that a person is using now. Then now you can maybe do a reverse search to tie the person to the IMEI number. Okay. Any other?
We have Grace and Chris.
Social media, I guess.
Yeah, your social media page. Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay.
Chris,
So
go ahead.
there's somebody else?
Yeah, there's Chris. You can mute. Okay, maybe he has mic issues. Alex, you're unmuted, but we can't hear you. Okay, they can write down their response under the Q&A.
Sure. Okay, I think we can proceed. So so now that we've identified we've identified what PII is and the type of information that we think is personal. So why is it important for us to protect this PII, especially for both for organizations and for individuals? So maybe let's start with the individual. Why is it you as a person is very important for you to protect your PII data?
Yes, Chris.
to reduce the risk of identity theft.
Very true. Identity theft. Okay.
Anthony?
To reduce the risk of losing resources, especially when it comes to financial resources.
By financial resources, you mean money?
Yes, I mean money.
So we've talked about identity theft, financial loss. Uh-huh.
There's a hand from Dennis. Ama ndio imesemwa.
What about
I can say in order to prevent doxing.
sorry?
In order to prevent doxing.
What is doxing?
This is whereby somebody publishes your personal identifiable information on.
Very, very true. Yeah. Okay. What about for organizations? Why is it important for organizations to protect their customers' PII data?
Grace?
To prevent fraud, because now, like with identity theft, someone can come if they mishandle it, someone can come and, let's say if it's a bank, they can pretend to be the said customer and even take a loan and, let's say, disappear. Yeah. Such things as fraud.
Fraud, yeah, true. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Ryan.
I can say to comply with laws and policies like GDPR.
Yeah. Regulatory compliance. Okay.
Yeah.
Lewis?
Hello.
Hello,
Yes,
we can hear you.
Okay, to avoid legal and financial liability.
Yes. Yeah. Financial losses and also the legal battles. True. So I think most of these points have already been mentioned. So for individuals, we have things to do with identity theft and financial fraud. So we've seen many people, especially on social media, many people losing their accounts to those malicious actors, and most of the time it happens. It happens because we don't really practice PII protection when we are dealing with social media. And then we've mentioned things to do with financial fraud. So you'll notice that most of the information that we post in our social media is what these attackers use to social engineer us into giving them maybe access to our financial accounts. Then we have privacy violations, physical harm. Actually, you'll find that somebody has gone to a restaurant, they're taking a very good meal, and they have posted that at that same time. So it's good. It's not bad to post things like maybe when you are enjoying some entertainment somewhere, but maybe you can post it after you've leave that particular place, because you don't know, somebody might be planning to harm you, and maybe you just posted that you are next to where they are, then that's how they will try to track and come and harm you. So we have things to do with discriminatory practices and doxing that someone mentioned. Then for organizations, we have legal and regulatory compliance. So these are things to do with the fines. Just this week, I saw there's one financial institution which was fined 500,000 for mishandling customer data. So those are some of the risks that organizations get into when they don't properly protect customer PII data. Then we have things to do with maintaining customer trust and reputation of the company, then avoiding financial losses. So we have what is regarded as personal data and we have sensitive data. So how do we differentiate them? So personal data is any information that can be used to identify a natural person or any information that has the capability of identifying a natural person, while sensitive personal data is information that is very private and needs to be protected carefully under the law. So something like your phone number, that is a personal data, but it's not that sensitive. I mean, even if somebody gets access to your phone number, they don't really pose any threat to you, and that's why most of us we can easily exchange our phone contacts, something like your name. So those are personal data, your birth certificate number, your location details. And then now sensitive data, things like your health status, because I don't know whether we watch movies, you can always see those movies where you notice that maybe somebody, if you went to the hospital and you've been given a pacemaker, maybe for your heart, and an hacker can actually gain access to that and do you harm. So those kind of financial, I mean health status and records are very sensitive. We have biometric data, ethnicity, and marital status. So those are some of the information that are regarded and sensitive, and they need to be protected even more than personal data. So what are the ways in which we always give out our personal data? So we have when we are making payments, the banks, or when you are even making payment through M-Pesa. Somebody actually mentioned that whenever you are always making payment, especially when you go to the supermarket and they want to prompt you, they will always ask you for your phone number. So that is actually a security risk, because you will not be in that line alone, and somebody can easily capture that phone number and start maybe blackmailing you or social engineering you through your number. Then we have when there is a need to access services both from government and private institutions, e.g. schools and hospitals. So every time we go to the hospitals, we'll always leave our personal information. In school, I believe when we enrolled in Cybersecurity, we gave them some of our personal details. So now it's upon the Cybersecurity institution to ensure that that particular data is safeguarded at all times. When we are accessing buildings, so this actually happens, and I'm very sure a very small percentage of us always ask why when you are accessing a building, there is always a book there where you write your name, ID number, and phone number. So not many of us always ask the security guys there why they need that information. Our work is just to give the information and leave. So those are some of those are some of the areas where we always leave our personal data, and we don't know how that particular data is being handled. Then signing up for online services and accounts when you are maybe opening your social media accounts, there are always those the disclaimers and how do we call them? I'm forgetting the name. There are those information that many of us don't always read, but they always contain information on how your data will be handled. So many of us just always approve without even going through them. Filling out online forms, using social media. I think I've talked about that. Online shopping, using digital apps. So I know many of us are using these particular platforms, and we leave our data outside there. So it becomes it becomes very difficult for you to manage your data as a person, because you even don't know where your data lies at. You give your data to so many platforms that you can't really track where you left your data and what kind of information you gave them. So now, what are some of the strategies that we can use for protecting PII data, especially at workplaces? So the first one is you need to identify and classify PII data. So I think that's this actually the same information that I was talking about before. When we are giving our information as a person, it will be very difficult for you to track and protect your data, because you give your information to so many platforms. But now, as an organization, how do we protect this data? So the first step, we're supposed to identify and classify personal data. So clearly define and label PII across systems. So we have tools that we can always use for PII data discovery. There are those security tools that assist in doing PII data discovery. I'll share some of them. So once you've identified which location or which systems have customer PII within your environment, then it's when you can proceed to figure out how you'll do the protection. But before you identify which systems or even which places PII is stored, it will be very difficult for you to start protecting that particular data. So that's why identification is the first step. Then we have things like implementing access control and least privileges. So limit data access based on role, time, and necessary. So of course, this one most organizations are implementing or practicing, so that we implement role-based access. So you only access what you need, and that particular access is also logged and monitored at all times, so that in case of any breaches or in case of any incidents, there is always a log that can be used to do an analysis and investigation to confirm where the breach came from. Then encrypting sensitive data. So Encryption involves transforming data into an unreadable format that can only be accessed with a decryption key. So we had actually mentioned this. So you can do encryption of data at rest. So encryption protects stored data on physical devices or cloud storage. So you can decide to encrypt data at rest, especially data which are stored on databases or even user machines. So for databases, also have those particular those particular solutions or or softwares that can assist in doing encryption. So you can either decide to do transparent encryption. So transparent encryption, this one is an encryption where your data is only encrypted to those who are not supposed to access it, and at what point are you supposed to access it. So you notice that maybe if you have implemented this on at DB level, then maybe the database administrator has the capability of accessing the raw data in its original form. This also being in effect with the role-based access, then maybe somebody accessing this particular data from the application side will only be able to access the encrypted part of the data. So that is called transparent data encryption. So you don't, you only encrypt data based on how you want other users to access it. Then we also have column-based encryption. So column-based encryptions, this one now encrypts data based on columns. So assuming maybe in your database you have tables, and each table has a column. So maybe there is a column for credit card numbers, names, and all that. So you can decide to encrypt that particular column for credit card numbers so that no user will be able to see that particular column until it is decrypted. Then for data in transit, so like I mentioned, this one can be done using encryption protocols like SSL or TLS. We also have solutions which can assist with encrypting data in transit using tokenization. So you notice that when somebody is accessing data on the application side, so that data will be encrypted between the database and the application. So during that particular movement of data from the database to the application level, the data is encrypted. Then we have masking. So like I mentioned, masking is reversible, and it replaces data with fictitious values. So masking is recommended to be implemented majorly and in test and UAT environment because of the nature of how it converts data, and you can't revert it back. So we have static masking. So this process marks data in databases by replacing sensitive information with fictional but realistic data. Static masking particularly useful for training and testing environment. Then we also have dynamic masking. So this masking in real time allows authorized users to view the original data while masking it for unauthorized users. So we also have those solutions which can assist with the dynamic masking. So for example, I'm a customer care or customer experience. And then somebody has come to do a registration. Maybe you are registering your phone number. So there will be that portal that I used to register your phone number. So there could be a solution or a software that can be implemented in between, still with the tokenization. So in between application and the database, so that data is encrypted. So even before the data enters the database, it will be encrypted in between, or it could be the other way around. Data is encrypted when it is leaving the database to the application, so that only authorized persons are able to view the original data as it is. But for those other users, they are only allowed to view some specific columns as they are, but other columns have been masked or rather just altered. Then securely storing your data and disposal. So that's also a way of how we protect data at workplace. So how do we securely store the data, and how do we dispose that particular data? So store data on PII, store PII data on devices that use strong encryption and protection and protect from unauthorized access. So I think this one we've mentioned, just ensuring that you implemented those solutions that can help in doing encryption of data or doing masking of data if it is on databases or even on our machines, the user machines. So we always have those solutions that can also support in encrypting your encrypting the data stored on your machine, in the sense that when that when that data is copied from your machine, then now it will be encrypted. So when the data lies within your machine, you can access it. You can just access it normally, but immediately you copy that data, maybe on a hard drive or something, the data will be encrypted and it can't be accessed unless they have the decryption key. So those are some of the controls that we can use to protect data in storage. Then we have having a backup and recovery procedures to prevent data loss and quick restoration in case of incidents. So this just entail having a BCP or a data recovery business continuity plan in case of any incident and you've lost data. Maybe you were attacked by a ransomware and all your database is encrypted. So first, do you even have a DR where you can access the same data? Because when you are doing business, uh, you'll always try to maybe kind of way between paying the ransom and just letting it go and use your BCP to ensure that you continue with your business as it was. So having a BCP or a recovery plan is very useful. Then physically secure storage locations such as filing cabinets, server rooms, to ensure they are locked and restricted to authorized personnel only. So I think the most critical places are always our data centers and server rooms, or even filing cabinets, because for example, immediately somebody gets into the server room and install a malicious or install a malicious a malware in one of the servers, then that's actually that will be the start of the trouble, because just installing a malware in one server can initiate some kind of remote command and control and lateral movement, and within no time, the whole network is actually compromised. So proper disposal procedures and also necessary ones, you no longer need some PII. So how we dispose data is actually very key, and there are always those procedures that we use for disposing data. For example, before you dispose a data, or before you decommission a server, you need to ensure that you've masked or purged any data that is available within that particular database, or rather within that particular server, before you power it off, or before you even physically destroy the hard drives, because somebody can still just get the hard drive and try to reconstruct that data. So it's very important that you do masking of that particular data before you decommission the server. Then training is actually very key. We need to train employees on how they handle PII. So it's always very important to do those trainings and simulations, especially phishing simulations, just to try and see how your employees will handle or will handle situations where somebody's asking them for information on maybe fellow employees or information on your customers. So doing simulations, conducting regular trainings on employees on how to handle PI, that is also very important. Then implementing security response, incident response, and bridges is also very important. It's important for us to have a clear plan for how to respond quickly and effectively in the event of a data breach. So it's very important to have an incident response plan, which details each and every step that will be taken whenever there is a downtime or whenever there is a security breach or incident that has happened. Then we have things like data minimization, only collect what is necessary. So remember when we were doing our Menti, there was that question where you feel that the organization is collecting more data than what they need. So we should always try to only collect what we need from our customers. So if you don't need some kind of information from the customer, you don't need to collect them from them. So this will help in reducing the potential impact in case of a breach. Then regular monitoring and auditing. So I think this one is also very self-explanatory, ensuring that we have those monitoring tools. If it is a database, you've implemented a DAM that can support in monitoring any activity or change or modification that is happening within your database, and also doing audits just to ensure that we are handling data or PI, customer PI data are being handled according to the regulatory compliance and best practices. So example of PI data discovery and protection tools. So there are so many protection tools that can be used outside there for doing PI data protection, both on databases and on clouds or even on files. So for example, we have these particular vendors that offer those solutions that can be used for protection. So we have the Safer Trust. So the Safer Trust data security platform, this one offer things to do with encryption, the tokenization, and even masking, both for files and databases. We have PKware, which will also offer transparent data encryption, that is for the smart crypt, and the PKware Protect, which also supporting doing discovery of PII within your environment, whether it's a database or files or even on cloud. So you can do the discovery, and then the protection bits, you can do masking of that particular data. Then we have IBM Guardian. So Guardian, you can use Guardian DAM for the database discovery. We also for the for the database monitoring. Then we also have Guardian Discover and Classify, which also can support in helping you identify PII within your environment. Empower also have solutions that can also assist you in identifying and protecting your PII. We have Oracle Data Safe and DTE. So this one is majorly found on Oracle for Cloud. So Oracle Cloud. So for the databases that are hosted on for you, the Oracle databases that are hosted on Oracle Cloud, they have that feature that can support in doing transparent data encryption. We have Photonix and also the Microsoft, which offer SQL Server still transparent data encryption, and the Purview, which also supports in PII control within your Office 365. So data protection compliance checklist. So we have those particular controls or compliance that the regulatory bodies always try to ensure that any organization that handle customer data comply with. So the personal data protection in Kenya is governed by the Data Protection Act 2019. So those there's some of the compliance that they ensure that any organization that handles customer data comply with. Otherwise, there are always fines that they might be imposed on. So the first one is just perform data discovery. So actually, it's it's a compliance requirement for all organizations handling customer data to ensure that they have a solution or a tool that can assist them in identifying PII within their environment and protecting it. So it's a compliance requirement to ensure that you know where your PII resides within your systems and how you protect those particular PII. Then classify and categorize PII by risk level. So effective data classification allows organizations to apply appropriate security safeguards based on the sensitivity and potential impact of different information types. So we will always have different risk or rather different level of risk that each and that access of PII to unauthorized users will pose within the organization. So, for example, for high risk, these are the sensitive data that we mentioned before, the sensitive PII that we mentioned before. So, for these ones, you need to enhance encryption, restricted access, and audit logging, just to ensure that anybody who is accessing that particular data is actually authorized and have the privileges to read and access that particular data. So example of this particular data are things like ID numbers, medical records, and financial data. So these are regarded as just these examples are regarded as high risk sensitive PII that need to be protected more than low risk or medium risk PII. So on medium risk, we have things that combined non-sensitive data. So this one you can do standard encryption, role-based access. So we have things like name, address, and phone number. Of course, those are PII, but they are not that very sensitive. So that's why they are categorized as medium risk. Even if somebody access them, of course there's a risk that, but it won't be it won't be regarded as a high risk as those other information that we mentioned before, like your financial records. Then low risk are things like your email address. So when somebody accesses your email address, of course, it has some risk on it, but it's not as risky as somebody accessing your medical records. So that's why it's very important for organization to classify and categorize PII by risk level, and then now you start implementing controls based on the risk. So even when you are doing your scoping for PII scoping for PII discovery and protection, you are supposed to come up with your a list of your scope based on risk level in terms of the system. So assuming you are an organization like Safaricom, so for organization like Safaricom, systems that run M-Pesa services will always come at the top. Then we have data protection compliance checklist. Continuation, we have developed detailed PII protection policies. Written policies provide the governance foundation for all PII processing activities. Then perform regular compliance assessments. So these assessments may include things like privacy impact assessment, risk assessment, impacts, control effectiveness testing, and third-party vendor reviews. So actually it's very important to have third-party vendor review, because we have some threats that are always posed by third-party vendors. Maybe you've integrated with you've integrated your services with some third-party providers, and you really don't know how they are handling their security within their environment. So just think now I'll try to go faster. Just briefly, how can we improve organization security posture? So the first point is we try to reduce attack surface. So we maintain a complete asset inventory, applying consistent patch management, and retire unused or legacy system. So this will help to reduce the number of entry points for threats. So you try to reduce the attack surface, the entry points for threats will also reduce. Then establish clear risk prioritization criteria. So like we mentioned, not all security gaps pose equal danger. So you need to prioritize based on your the risk they pose to the organization. Then strengthen access control. I think that is self-explanatory. Implement continuous monitoring. You do proactive monitoring to reduce window of opportunity for attackers. So deploying things like CM, extended detection and controls for the endpoint, things like FIM and other threat intelligence solutions. Then build a security awareness culture. So ensuring your employees have regular training program, phishing simulation, role-based awareness initiative help reduce human error, which we mentioned is the major, actually is the major leading cause of data breaches. Then the third-party risk, I think we had talked about this one. So I think that will be the end of my presentation. So maybe we can start taking questions. What's the time? Oh Lord. See, we've even gone past time. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Yeah, so maybe we can start taking
Let's
questions.
have the first three. Yeah. Yeah, first three questions. Yes, great.
Okay, I have two questions. Okay, one is related to what we've spoken about today and related to something else. Okay, I came across an application process recently that required consent for one to now agree. Okay, for one to agree for their data to be processed outside the country. I'll just like to know, I'm seeking clarification, is that necessary, especially if when it's for a service, that this data you see from your point of view does not need to be processed outside the country? And number two, you mentioned that you're a private biker. So I was just wondering, how long have you been doing it? And if you don't mind disclosing, what bike you ride? Thank you.
Okay, so for your first question, so I think first of all, like we mentioned on that Menti, so you need to ask why they need that particular data. And then for you've also mentioned that the data is being processed outside the country. So first, does that you need to verify that that organization actually have that organization actually abide with the data protection laws that we have in Kenya, and is it a company that is allowed to that is actually allowed to operate in within our environment? But if not, what about what about the laws that are being implemented where that company or that organization operates from? Because you also remember we always have those laws or laws that guide how our data is being handled by those international companies. We have some regulations that prevent data from being flown outside Kenya. So that's why you'll notice that most organizations, for example, Microsoft, they'll always try to have their data centers hosted here in Kenya, because there are those laws that prohibit organizations, international organizations, from processing your personal data outside Kenya. So I think the first point will be you need to ask why that data is needed, especially if you feel they don't need that particular data, and also just try to confirm whether the company has been allowed to operate in Kenya. If that is the case, then it means they will be able to abide by our laws and regulations that pertain to PII or data protection. But if not, then it means there's really nothing you can do, even if they mishandle your data. So those are the kind of information that you need to confirm. To answer your second question, I've been riding for, I think it's 3 years now. I ride a bike called Raleigh.
Okay. Thank you for both your answers. Yeah.
There any other question? And no other question. I don't know whether that is a good thing or a bad thing. Yes, Dennis.
I have a question. Let's say in a company like Safaricom, is data security and privacy a specific job role, or is just under an umbrella of another role?
And data security and privacy. So remember, these are different actually areas, just like we shared in our presentation. So data privacy and data security are two different things. So of course we have a department for data privacy that is just a whole department of its own. Then we also have data security, which now lies within the cybersecurity department. So there are different departments within Safaricom. Hope your question is answered.
Yes. Also, let's say you are applying for a job in Safaricom. Do you apply to the cybersecurity team, or you just have to be employed for a cybersecurity role and then you are assigned to go to privacy? Maybe another person go to security.
No, since there are different departments, they will have their own ways of doing recruitment. So for cybersecurity, they will advertise their roles, their jobs as cybersecurity. Privacy team will also advertise their job as data privacy team. So it's different recruitment. Yeah. Grace?
I was asking now, if in your experience in now the cybersecurity space, in the teams that you've worked, are there exclusively data specialist and AI roles within cybersecurity, or does want to get that role? Do I have to go through a cybersecurity program or qualification, or I can just join as a data and AI specialist under a cybersecurity department or something like that?
So, of course, we have those specific. I wouldn't call them roles, but we have specific sections for. We have a team that just handle data security, and also we have a team for the AI. So, we still don't have an AI team dedicated within cybersecurity, but we have an AI team which is dedicated within our technology department. So what the team does, they just liaise and coordinate between themselves to ensure that if there's a project they're supposed to do, then they do it collaboratively. But within the cybersecurity section, we still don't have a dedicated AI section or AI team that combines both security and AI. So they work collaboratively between the two teams.
Okay, thank you for your response.
Yes, Ryan.
Hi, Daniel. Great presentation. My question would be the role cybersecurity plays when it comes to privacy, and especially on the part of breach response and notification.
Yeah. So actually, cybersecurity plays a big role when it comes to protecting PII data or privacy, because like I mentioned, we have a privacy team, but remember, like we mentioned, privacy majorly deals with the regulatory compliance. But now, protecting this data, we have PII, customer PII data that resides within your environment. So it's now the work of the cybersecurity team to ensure that that particular PII is protected. So the privacy team will help you in implementing these controls according to the compliance and regulatory standards. So and so you'll receive guidance on what type of controls you're supposed to implement and to which systems are you supposed to implement this particular controls, so that this one will be guided by the privacy team. But now the implementation bit lies by the cybersecurity team. I don't know if that answers your question.
It
Okay.
does. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. If there's no any other question, I can hand over to Hope.
Okay, So a question, Daniel. In terms on the subject of AI, for let's say like Safaricom, what kind of restrictions are there, or what kind of technological restrictions can be put into place generally when it comes to sharing of personal information with different AI models?
I think this will majorly involve when it comes to the training, the test and training, especially when you are training the AI model. So remember, when we were doing the presentation, there's that part that we mentioned on masking, data masking. So we always ensure that the data that we use for doing this particular tests and development are not actual customer data, but they are data which has been masked or rather manipulated, so that only those fictional data are presented within the test or UAT environment that will also encompass training the AI model. So we ensure that data is masked before they are fed into the AI models for training.
Okay. But what of like external AI, or like let's say ChatGPT per se? What prevents an employee from sharing?
Yeah. So we also have those particular controls. So we have security solutions that we use. For example, the Microsoft Purview that prevents users from pasting or even uploading any information that contains PII within that contains what is regarded as PII. So we have those particular policies that have been defined on the for example, the Purview solution, which actually protect anything that is contained within the Office 365, the Office 365 suite. So any person any person using company any person using company issued machine, whether it is your a laptop or your phone, you can't you can't paste any personal information, or you can't upload any document that contains what is regarded as sensitive or contains PII within those particular platforms. So that particular policy will you will block you, and you'll get a notification, and then such particular events are also logged, so for security reviews. So that's one control that we implement. But now, assuming somebody is using their personal data, then now that might become challenging. But again, you can't access you can't access any Safaricom, or rather, you can't access any company environment or any company resources in your personal machine. So those are kind of the controls that have been implemented within the environment.
Okay, thank you. So back to you, Daniel. Any last comments before I bring the session to a close?
Yeah, so I think my parting shot will be data protection, especially when it comes to PII, is always something that we have to continuously explore on, and just to try to do a research on and ensure that we control, especially now with the emerging technology for AI. It's it's becoming very actually it's becoming very kind of technical to handle our PII. So of course we now have different technologies that are embedding PII, embedding AI within their solutions, that to ensure that even if we are using AI, it is used ethically within the environment and things like that. So let's just continue to try to preach the news for protection of our data outside there, and let's try to stay safe, especially online. Otherwise, thank you very much for the opportunity. Hope maybe I'm hoping we'll have another session some other day.
Thank you so much, and you're welcome. And we do look forward to another session where we can go deeper into the conversation. So thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you for taking us through data protection, specifically on PII, and just explaining it in a way that is very relatable to, if I may say, all of us. So to the participants on call, I hope we've picked up something. Thank you for joining and making this an interactive session. I've also received those who won the first challenge that Daniel had presented, and I'll share the contacts with him. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Oh, and Daniel, kindly share the slides that you are using today so that I can share with the students.
Okay. I don't know whether you will be in a position to share with me your email.
Yes, let me do that.
Okay.
So thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely night. See you next Thursday. Bye.